Morning, everybody. How y'all doing? So the cool news is that I won an iPad from Rocket Tube, so I can now shoot these videos and edit them if I do this properly on my iPad. So that's kind of fun, and it's nice and mobile, so I can take it anywhere. And I ain't got no clothes on, so I gotta be really careful, or I will get in trouble. But there's the dogs, and as you can see, Max and Riley are all getting along really well, so we're very happy about that. I gotta be very careful not to show my junk, because YouTube will get very angry with me if I show my junk. Well, I just can't put it up. Hi, everybody. Hey, Jason, I've been visiting your site for almost a year now. Thank you very much. You've answered many questions that deal with various aspects of gay life, but I got one for you. How do you move on after a loved one has died from HIV or cancer? My boyfriend died of the latter. And you still have many years ahead of you. I'm 30 and my boyfriend was 42. I know it's a little serious subject that you generally get asked about, but I know I'm not the only one dealing with this issue out there. You know, and I've said this before, and I'm sure I will say it again. We're going to go into the... okay, so we're still sort of dealing with this whole perspective problem with the iPad and the thing, and I don't... Clearly I don't have a problem showing my junk. I just don't want to do that on YouTube. The young generation of gay men out there, well, I mean, people, they will never be able to grasp what it was like for the guys my age to about 15 years older. You know, by the time I was 21, I mean, I lost track of how many funerals that I went to for guys my age, you know, and what was at the time, you know, was called AIDS. I mean, it was just this invisible specter, you know. You'd go to the bar on Friday night and you'd say, "Hey, where's Rob?" And people would go, "Oh, didn't you hear he died 2 days ago?" And, you know, and you didn't even know he was sick, because it would just take you that fast. And it was weird, because, you know, we were men in our late teens and early 20s, and, you know, they were just dying, you know. And what's so crazy is that these guys had not done anything that you hadn't done yourself, you know. You could not put yourself up on a pedestal and go, "Oh, well, he was a slut," because he didn't do anything you didn't do, you know. We didn't know how to protect ourselves, and in a lot of cases, we didn't even realize that you should. I mean, the straight and sort of Christian run, you know, sort of leaders at that point went out of their way to hide information from us, and hide treatment, and hide information, and keep us from accessing that, because, you know, because they wanted us dead, and we were dying. You know, I was never, you know, I'm HIV negative, so, but I didn't do anything that my friends didn't do. You know, when you're 20 and recently out, and have a lot of opportunities available to you, you tend to throw your brains out the window and think with your dick. And I know that I'm guilty of that, or I was anyway when I was 19. Okay, I can still be a little guilty of that now, and I'm 42. But the point is, that, I mean, you're asking how do you move on. it's something that my generation just had to learn how to do, you know, because if we just sat there and dwelled on it, you know, I never would have left the house. I never would have done anything. And I vividly remember, it was me and a bunch of buddies on Toronto Island, and there was like the western south corner of Toronto Island. This is going back to like 88, 89. And it was the little area there that was kind of difficult to get to. So it was sort of unofficially the gay beach. And if you kind of went back a little bit further, there were all these trees, and you could get guys kind of like lying around naked and stuff. But generally we would go and bring our ghetto blasters with our CNC Music Factory and Madonna and all that. What? You think I didn't have a pop it kind of... I had friends that were into that. I mean, I was still listening to my Dead Kennedys records at that point. But anyway, you know, and we'd go hang out on the beach, and I just remember there was like a Sunday, and we were all, you know, we were all lying there and drinking our beer and talking, and I you know, I mean, at the time, it was really difficult for young gay men, especially in like rural areas where most of us came from, you know, to sort of really form bonds with each other. And I just remember saying to the guys, I'm like, you know, I never thought that I'd have such a great, close-knit group of friends like you. And, you know, and we all kind of raised our beer bottles. And slowly the conversation turned to, you know, it's too bad Rob's not here. It's too bad Maurice isn't here. And then we started to discuss, you know, anyway, it was the really fembot guy that hung out with us. I remember he used to speak in this like intentionally high falsetto voice and stuff. He used to bug the shit out of me. He was a cool guy. And he said, "Listen, I don't want any of you guys ever crying. You know," he goes, "You know, go to the funeral, you have your fun, you do your thing." But he's like, I don't want a big display, you know, over me. Because look at how much fun we're having. Look at this. Like, this is... No one's ever going to be able to take this one away from us. And, you know, he said, I don't want you guys, you know, doing this. I want you guys to keep doing this here at the beach. And I want you guys to, you know, do me a favor and live your life. You know, do me a favor and keep going and live to tell the story. You know, and it's now 20 plus years later, and the internet does exist, and YouTube does exist, and people still, for some reason, care what a tattooed 40-year-old gay biker who makes porn has to say. So, I'm here telling the story. He did die, actually, a few years after that, just before the protease inhibitors kind of changed everything for us. Maybe I'll tell the story of that white night, because that was a weird one. But anyway, how do you move on? You do, you know. I'm sure that your boyfriend who passed away doesn't want you sitting around dwelling. You know, he wants you to, you know, keep going and keep living, because you did. You know, and you gotta get over that survivor's guilt that was pretty common for guys my age 23 years ago. It was really common. We all had it. And we moved on. So go grab your buddies and grab a beer bottle and raise a glass. And keep asking me questions. Thanks.